بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين آمين. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. لن تنالوا البر حتى تنفقوا مما تحبون وما تنفقوا من شيء فإن الله به عليم. كل الطعام كان حلا لبني إسرائيل إلا ما حرم إسرائيل على نفسه من قبل أن تنزل التوراة قل فاتوا بالتوراة فاتلوها إن كنتم صادقين ومن افترى بعد ذلك فأولئك هم الظالمون. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says very clearly in clear terms here, لَن تَنَالُوا الْبِرَّ, you will not reach bir. Bir is an Arabic word which is very full of meaning. In fact, we have already a few days back studied one verse in which bir was defined and many things were said, this is bir, this is bir, this is bir. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, you will not get bir. Actually, the meaning of the word bir is to complete your hukuk for a person. Like bir al-walidain, you are completing all that is expected of you to do the walidain. If you do that, that is bir. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says here that you will not reach bir. And bir is with the kasra, bir. Bir can also be used with a fatha, bar. And the plural of that, bar, is abrar, which is many places mentioned in Quran, abrar. And Quran says, إِنَّ الْأَبْرَارَ لَفِي النَّعِيمِ وَإِنَّ الْفُجَّارَ لَفِي جَحِيمِ. Abrar are going to paradise. Who are these abrar? Abrar are those people who complete their duties towards their parents, duties towards their neighbors, duties towards whoever they are answerable to. And Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, always tell the truth, because sidq and bir together always lead you to paradise. Sidq and bir lead you to paradise, to Jannah. And falsehood and fujur lead you to Jahannam. False and fujur lead you to Jahannam. And when this verse came down, لَن تَنَالُوا الْبِرَّ, you will not attain bir. You will not reach bir. حَتَّى until تُنْفِقُوا, you will spend. مِمَّا تُحِبُّونَ, out of that which you love. The thing that you love, unless you spend out of that, you will not reach bir. وَمَا تُنْفِقُوا مِنْ شَيْءٍ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ بِهِ عَلِيمٌ. Whatever you spend, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows it well, what you are spending. Now, when this verse was revealed, the Sahaba became impatient to spend out of what they love. And Abu Talha, radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he had a garden, very beautiful garden, very next to the masjid of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And it was a very, very beautiful garden, and a big garden. In that, there was a well. That well was called Bir Ha. The water of that well was very famous because it was very sweet and very good water. Prophet ﷺ would sometimes go there just to drink water. And so this was a very well-liked garden. He came, Abu Talha came to Prophet ﷺ, told him, Allah Ta'ala says that you should spend out of what you love. The thing I love the most is this garden. So I am now giving this garden to you to spend in the name of Allah as you like, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. You spend this garden is no more mine, it's yours now. Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, it's a very big garden, you don't want to spend it all. Give it to your relatives. He said, okay, but what to tell me? He said, yes, you give it to your relatives. So he gave it to his relatives, to his cousin, brothers and others. He distributed, but he spread it immediately. Then after that, after some time, he felt that I had given this for spending in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, give it to your relatives. It's still staying in my family. I have not spent it. Prophet ﷺ told him, no, you have spent it. And Allah has accepted this, and you are in the line of the Abrar. That is what you have spent it. That tells us that when we are spending, we should be careful of what we are spending, how much we are spending. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He talks about this, says, لَن تَنَالُوا الْبِرَّ حَتَّى تُنْفِقُوا مِمَّا. The word mimma, tuhibbun, out of what you have, what you love. You spend out of what you love, what you have. Mimma tuhibbun, وَمَا تُنْفِقُوا. So it is not that you spend everything. You have whatever you have, you spend everything and become a pauper yourself. No. You spend like Prophet ﷺ told him to spend, and he spent some of it. Mimma tuhibbun, whatever you have and whatever you love out of that. Usual story is with us, is where we give for charity, the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what we don't want. Our clothes, some clothes have become old, clothes have become, we don't want them anymore, they become tight or this, whatever, then we give that. No, give out of what you love. Out of what you love, you give that. مِمَّا تُحِبُّونَ وَمَا تُنْفِقُوا مِنْ شَيْءٍ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ بِهِ عَلِيمٌ. And whatever you spend, whether you spend more or you spend less, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what you are spending. Even if you spend one, Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu had a kaneez. You used to have in those days these kaneez, and kaneez is what? Slave girls. He used to have, whom he liked very much. And when this thing came, he went to Prophet ﷺ and asked him, is it sadaqah wajiba or sadaqah nafla? Sadaqah wajiba is that which is necessary, you have to do like zakat. Zakat is a sadaqah, but sadaqah wajiba, you have got to spend certain amount, and nafla is your choice. You do or you don't do it. And Prophet ﷺ told him, from both. So he said, in that case, I am spending this kaneez. She is my favorite one, and I am making her free. He freed her. That was Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu. And Abdullah bin Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu also had a kaneez, and he released her, immediately freed her. And what you love is the one that you... I remember a few years back, when there was war in Bosnia, some family of Bosnia had come to Malaysia. We used to live in Malaysia those days. And the lady, she didn't have any clothes. My mother, Allah yarhamha, my mother took her upstairs to her room and opened her wardrobe and said, take whatever you want to take. She had so many hanging there, said, take whatever you like to take. She took one. And my mother said, no, take more. And she said, no, one is enough for me. I have one and this one is enough for me. Just at that time I entered and I told my mother, I said, why are you telling her to take one? If she wants only one, let her take only one. And she quoted this back to me and she said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لَن تَنَالُوا الْبِرَّ حَتَّى تُنْفِقُوا مِمَّا تُحِبُّونَ. The suit that she has is not my favorite one. My favorite one is this and this. So I wanted to take one of these. These are good ones. She should take out of these. And she did take one of those which she liked. She said, this is my favorite. So I give it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, مِمَّا تُحِبُّونَ. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَمَا تُنْفِقُوا مِنْ شَيْءٍ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ بِهِ عَلِيمٌ. Afterwards, somebody came and asked our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, this is only for those people who can afford, who are rich. What about the people who are poor, who don't have themselves enough? How can they do? And our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he heard this, he replied, he said, Ya ayyuhallazina amanu anfiqu min tayyibati ma kasabtum wa mimma akhrajna lakum min al-ardi wa la tabayyanu lil-khabisi minhu tattaquna wa lastum akhidhihi yatamuna ta'ama. Then he said that actually you should spend whatever you have, however little you have, even a date, don't think it's less. Even a date, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَا تُنْفِقُوا مِنْ شَيْءٍ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ بِهِ عَلِيمٌ. Allah knows. Whatever you spend, Allah knows. It is narrated that Fatima Zahra radiallahu ta'ala anha was fasting one day. It was not the fast of Ramadan. And then a man came to her house, and he found that she had not eaten for 2 days. She was very weak, so the man was very upset looking at this, and then he went straight away home and he got some food and he placed it before her. He said, today when you have nothing for iftar today, so you have the food and I brought it for you. She said, all right, thank you very much. They are sitting there, iftar has not yet reached, there is still some time for iftar, and somebody from the door cried at the door, please give the hungry man who has been fasting for 2 days, 3 days, he has no food, please give if you can give some food. Fatima took this food and went out and gave it to the man. And this man who had got it, he said, you don't have any food for yourself. Why are you giving it? He said he has been fasting for 3 days. I have been fasting only for 2 days. So he is more deserving of getting this food than I am. And she gave it to him. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, but when you give, يَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَنْفِقُوا مِنْ طَيِّبَاتِ مَا كَسَبْتُمْ وَمِمَّا أَخْرَجْنَا لَكُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ وَلَا تَيَمَّمُوا الْخَبِيثَ مِنْهُ تُنْفِقُونَ وَلَسْتُمْ بِآخِذِيهِ إِلَّا أَنْ تُغْمِضُوا فِيهِ. When you give, think what you are giving. Don't give something which you wouldn't like to take. Which you wouldn't like to take. Something you are giving, you would not like to take it if you were in need, but give that thing to the person who is asking for it. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَا تَيْمُوا الْخَبِيثَ مِنْهُ تُنْفِقُونَ وَلَسْتُمْ بِآخِذِيهِ إِلَّا أَنْ تُغْمِضُوا فِيهِ. You will not accept it, you will not take it, you will not like to take it. Give that for your charity. When you go. So to choose things which you don't want, to choose things which are unnecessary for you, to choose things which you do not like, to give those as sadaqah is not recommended. But if you give, it is not that you are doing a false thing, you are doing something wrong. If you give that, okay, that's all right, but it's not recommended. It's recommended that you give what you like, what you love. And it's not necessarily money, whatever else you have, you give that. From whatever you have, you give that. كل الطعام كان حلا لبني إسرائيل إلا ما حرم إسرائيل على نفسه من قبل أن تنزل التوراة قل فاتوا بالتوراة فاتلوها إن كنتم صادقين. They are saying that these things are haram for us, the Jews. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, no. They were made haram for Israel. Yaqub alayhi salam for himself, because he was suffering from a disease, and he made a dua, Ya Allah, if my disease goes, I will not eat camel. I will not eat camel meat, I will not eat this and that. And what happened when he stopped eating this? His children, they also stopped eating, and that became a fashion. It was 400 years by the time this verse came. 400 years. People had thought and believed that this is in Torah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, كُلُّ طَعَامِ كَانَ حِلًّا لِبَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ. Every food was halal for Bani Israel, إِلَّا مَا حَرَّمَ إِسْرَائِيلُ عَلَى نَفْسِهِ, except what Israel had made haram on himself, مِنْ قَبْلَ أَن تُنَزَّلَ التَّوْرَاةِ, before Torah came down. Then قُلْ فَاتُوا بِالتَّوْرَاةِ إِن فَاتْلُوهَا إِن كُنتُمْ. Bring your Torah and read it to me. Show me where it is written in the Torah that these things are haram. Because what the Jews were finding anything to oppose Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And they found this as an excuse. They said, he says that he's one of the prophets. Na'udhu billah, khakamba, he's a liar. It's not true. See, if he was a prophet, he would not make those things halal, which all the prophets have made haram. They thought all these things were made haram, and he would not take. And then the Jews didn't eat the meat of the camel meat. And Abu Salama, when he became a Jew, he was given soon after that he was given camel meat to eat, and he said, no, I don't want to eat it. Because if you have all your life been saying that this is haram, you don't feel like eating it. So if somebody gave us, for example, pork and said, eat it, you will not eat it. So he said, I'm not going to eat it. When the thing went to the Prophet ﷺ, they told him, he said, call him, and he called him. He said, you don't eat camel meat? He said, no, we have been thinking that it is haram all our life, and I don't feel like. But is it necessary for Muslims to eat camel meat? Allah does not say you have to eat it. I don't feel like eating, I may not eat. He said, no. For other Muslims, it's not necessary to eat camel meat. For you, it is necessary to eat camel meat, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya ayyuhallazina amanu udkhulu fis silmi kaffa. You have to enter into Islam kaffa, everything. And if this was in your religion forbidden, and now you have entered Islam, you eat this to prove that you have entered into Islam kaffa. And he ate it. He ate it. But قُلْ فَاتُوا بِالتَّوْرَاةِ فَاتْلُوهَا إِن كُنتُمْ صَادِقِينَ. Tell them. And this was revealed for, the background of this was revealed for Abu Salma. Then he said, call and tell them, bring your Torah and read it to me and show me where it is written in the Torah that this was made haram. فَمَنْ افْتَرَى عَلَى اللَّهِ الْكَذِبَ مِنْ بَعْدِ ذَلِكَ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الظَّالِمُونَ. Even after this, if you pursue on this, if you say that this is haram, even after this, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الظَّالِمُونَ. Then you consider yourself as zalims. قُلْ صَدَقَ اللَّهُ فَاتَّبِعُوا مِلَّةَ إِبْرَاهِيمَ حَنِيفًا. Follow the millat of Ibrahim Hanifa, pure. Don't mix up things with the Ibrahim's religion. It was pure. وَمَا كَانَ مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ. He was not a mushrik. He was pure. I think I will stop there, because we have this in the next verse, إِنَّا وَلَبَيْتٍ وَضِعَ لِلنَّاسِ, a different topic. It will be a bit tomorrow, inshallah. So, the lesson we learn from this is that we must spend out of what we love. You don't have to be very rich. You're a very rich person now, you can spend out of your rich. Because you're very rich, you have so much money. The good example given by one speaker a few days back, I was listening. He said, if you have two notes, both are $100 notes, $100 bills. One is an old note, it's still, well, it is good, but it's a bit old, it's dirty. And the other one is crisp and new. And then you are going to give donation to the masjid, or you are going to give sadaqah. Which one will you pull out? You don't pull out the new one and give it, you will pull out the old one, the same value. It's $100, it's $100. But it would be better from this point of view, from what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, مِمَّا تُحِبُّونَ. It will be better for you to pull out the crisp one and pull that and keep the old one with you. But the tendency is, we'll give the old one. It is still $100. But see the difference it makes. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, that will be مِمَّا تُحِبُّونَ. And if you give the old one, that is not what you like. But you like the new one, give that one. So inshallah we will try our best to, all depends upon your niyyah. Even if Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, even if you give a date, or a piece of a date, even that will come under this. And give it with that niyyah that you are giving for the sake of Allah, and you are giving with good heart. And that is very important. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that is mimma tuhibbun, from what you love. Spend out of that what you love. Of course, mal is something which everybody likes. Money, mal, that everybody likes. But even in that, whenever you give, ask yourself, is this something I like, or is this something I was going to throw off anyway? So if you're going to throw off anyway, try not to give that as charity, but give that as charity what you like, and what is useful to you, what you are using, what you love. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us that feeling and give us that tawfiq that we will spend out of what we love, and make us among those people who are abrar, and give us inshallah paradise for hereafter. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم. اللهم آتنا خير الدنيا وخير الآخرة واصرف عنا شر الدنيا وشر يوم الآخرة يا إله الأولين والآخرين يا ذا الجلال والإكرام برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين آمين يا رب العالمين.